Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Akil, and ladies and gentlemen, another anime journey has come to an end, guys. As after finishing Fairy Tail, finishing Death Note, and finishing Attack on Titan, I've now finished another anime. This is the fourth anime that I finished, and the fifth anime that I've covered on the channel, guys. For One Piece, next year I'll be going back to Whole Cake Island. But besides that, I have watched all of Fairy Tail, all of Death Note, all of Attack on Titan, and now I've watched all of Yu Hakusho. Yes, 112 episodes. Not as long as I took to watch AOT, just because AOT, I took like a couple weeks break for when I was sick, and then after that, I don't know why, I just like didn't really get back into it after a while, after a couple weeks later. But it's not like I was interested in the show. I actually wanted to see where the show was going. But this, I finished a lot sooner, and all I gotta say is that this show did not end the way I thought it was going to. I thought, it was gonna have a much more impactful ending, and I'll explain a little more into that and delve a bit more into that without giving away stuff because, I don't like to spoil things in my anime reviews and normal reviews, I would say. So is that, but in the negatives, I'll talk about that. But for the story of this arc, Yusuke, Hihei, and Kurama are all invited to Demon World, and they're all invited to basically, I guess, train and also, I guess, fight each other. And that's the best way I can describe this arc. So this that or this saga, I would say, because it's known as the Saga of the Three Kings. We had the Spirit Detective Saga, the Dark Tournament Saga, the Chapter Black Saga. Now we have the Saga of the Three Kings. And honestly, I prefer season 3, aka the Chapter Black Saga overall. However, this is my second favorite saga of the show and my second favorite season out of the four. If I were to rank them, which I'm doing it now so I don't blabber on at the end, I would say from worst to best it's 1, then 2, then 4, and then 3. Which, funny enough, I guess that's maybe how people do it for AOT. Like they say 3 is the best, then 4. But for me, I thought the show gradually got better. But nevertheless, though, I still liked what this saga had to offer. The story was interesting. I mean, focusing on these three different rulers and what they stand for, and each of them having very different backstories and personalities. I think the most interesting one might have been Yomi. I think that's his name. The one that Kurama was sent to meet and kind of train under and talk to. But the other two were also pretty interesting, I would say. Like Ryzen and what's his name? Mo starts with M. I already forgot the name. That's my bad. But overall, I thought it was very interesting what they did with the three kings, or should I say three leaders, and the whole idea of like where the whole season goes. Like it starts off in one place and then completely goes into another direction in like the last couple episodes, like the last quarter of the season, I would say. Which for an 18 episode season, they do quite a bit. They try to cram a lot in, and I feel like that's why I don't think it hit as hard as the previous season, I would say. So there's that. Now, getting into the positives, the action is fantastic. I don't think any of the fights top Yusuke's fight with Sensui though in season 3. That was still the best. However, there's one pretty damn good fight that comes pretty close to it, I would say. So is that another thing I enjoyed was the story. It was an interesting story, but the story in season 3 and just what they did with that, the stakes were high and all that. It just felt more intense. This one, it wasn't like there was like a ticking time bomb or like there was like race against time type storyline. It wasn't super high stakes. It was just more personal, I would say, which I didn't mind. But still, I would have loved it if there was a little more going on. Maybe something happening in the human world, I would say. So there's that. And then finally, the characters. I mean, they did a really good job fleshing out the characters, especially what they did with Hiei and Kurama this season. Like, for the final season, I'm really surprised that they actually made or should I say, I have to give credit to the creator, I would say, because it's his creation, obviously. The person that came up with the manga, they did a really good job actually holding off for Kurama and Hiei's backstory only right until the very end, especially Hiei's backstory. Like, now we know why he is the way he is, I would say. So there's that. And while I would have loved some resolution with maybe his character in one specific area, if you know what I'm talking about, I'm still happy what I got. So there's that. And because the final season, I am happy how they kind of wrapped up certain storylines. The character that I was most satisfied by was Yusuke's storyline. His arc had a perfect ending. Like I was very, very satisfied with that. So there's that. Now going into the negatives, unfortunately, this arc started off a little slow. I have to admit I wasn't really feeling it at first, but the more I got into it, I was like, yeah, okay, now I can see where it's going. And this also kind of correlates with the ending of the arc because while the start of the arc was a little bit slow, the end of the arc, or should I say the season, because again, it's not called arc, they call it saga, whatever, but the end of the season felt a bit rushed. Like, there's one particular moment where I was like, okay, this is cool and all that, and then suddenly they just kind of jump forward in time, and I was like, wait, what? Why? What is going on? And if you watch it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That kind of like took me out of it a bit. I wish there was a little more action going on there, but again, I'm not trying to spoil anything. I don't want to talk about it. It's a little bit hard to talk about stuff where, you know, like I could get into the story, but then again, I don't want to ruin it for you guys. And then finally for negatives, it didn't have like a super like impactful like ending, you know, that like I feel like Attack on Titan's ending was way more impactful, even though I did get spoiled. This one, I didn't get spoiled, but then again, there's not much really to spoil, and that's all I'll say about that. But in all honesty, I wish this had a much more like oomph to it. You know what I mean? Like it needed like a wow factor, shocking, crazy, emotional ending and all. But in all honesty, I'm happy with the ending I got. I don't love the final season. However, it's still a good season. So like I said, I mean it's like my second favorite season, but season three, you know, that season was just so special because they even give Koenma like some great moments with the stories. But this, he was barely in it, I would say. But in all honesty, I like season four, the final season, you of Hakusho. I would give it a 7.5 out of 10, but because I don't do that, I'm overall going to give the final season of Yu Yu Hakusho a 7 out of 10. Good ending, not a great ending. Overall, I do like this show, but unfortunately, I really loved one of these seasons, which I'm glad that I at least loved one season. AOT, I ended up loving two. So there's that, but that's AOT. That's different. I shouldn't compare. But AOT, I was always gonna be better anyway. Maybe that's just because of how it's written, and plus it's a newer show. But this, I enjoyed it. Yes, you can definitely feel it's dated and a little, you know, bit cheesy at times. But in all honesty, it was a fun experience watching the show over these last like a couple of weeks. Like, how long did I watch the show? Like a month and a half, almost 2 months maybe. But I enjoyed the show. I had fun with it. No, actually, it was a little over a month because I started in October. That's when I finished Attack on Titan, I believe. Yeah, but overall, I like this show. I do recommend it. I kind of get why it's rated pretty highly in IMDb, but then again, that's IMDb. People love rating things super highly there, so there's that. But overall, I like this show. Did not love it sadly, but now we can move on to the next anime, and I will be starting one final anime before the end of the year, and that will be Full Metal Alchemist. Now, before you say anything, it's just Full Metal Alchemist and not Brotherhood because there is a difference. The original anime kind of like changes stuff from the manga because at the time I believe the manga wasn't finished or they did finish and the anime decided to like just change things. But I did hear this is also really good. Like it's also pretty highly rated on IMDb as well. But obviously Brotherhood is like considered to be by many one of, if not for some, the best anime ever. I mean, they said the same for AOT. Sadly, I didn't love it. They said the same for Death Note, but I guess I can't overhype myself. Like this one, I don't want to overhype myself in going in, but it's shorter than Yu Hakusho, shorter than AOT even, but longer than Death Note. I think it's like 50 something episodes. Full Metal Alchemist and then Brotherhood's like a little longer, 60 something. But overall, I will be covering that in December. Hopefully, I manage to finish it. If not, then I'm gonna have to push it to next year. But hey, at least I've covered the two anime that I want to do this year, like knock out and finish two anime besides just going through One Piece. And I could have finished this earlier if I actually started One Piece earlier, but oh well, this is what it is. But guys, thank you so much for watching and for being on this Yu Hakusho journey with me. I know it was a very short and quick journey, but this show, I mean, I kind of pulled through and didn't have many breaks in between. I mean, not super long breaks, unlike AOT. So is that, which is why I managed to finish it in a little over a month, close to a month and a half, I would say. So guys, those are my thoughts on the final season of Yu Hakusho. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. My name's Akil, otherwise known as the Comic Director, and I'm signing out.